super excited to share this with you guys, how to get 100 roofing leads per month with Google Ads, right? I'm going to show you, talk about how to do this for your business, right? How to get one consistent roofing leads for your company using Google Ads, right? How to solve this strategy, right? How to learn from this, right? So let's get this rocking and rolling. So first thing I wanted to do, right, is when we get started, I want you to really imagine the scenario, right? What would your life look like if you could consistently get a steady stream of leads every single month that produces a return on investment, right? What would your life look like if you could consistently generate 20, 30, 50, or even 100 to 150 leads per month using Google Ads that produces a return on investment? How would your life look like? How would things be different for your business, right? Would you hire more salespeople? Would you hire a manager to handle the actual sales team? Would you hire more production, more staff? Would you need to hire more crews, right? How would things look like, right? If you're consistent generating your own leads, how would things be different if you are, if you stop relying on lead brokers and actually generate a consistent, steady stream of leads for yourself, for your own business, where you're actually building your brand and name? How will things be different for your business, right? I really want you to imagine this scenario because that's really what I want to teach you in this presentation, in this webinar, right, for you guys. And I want you to imagine this scenario because that's the scenario we're going to paint. And I'm going to show you how to do this by the end of on the strategy, right? And what is this for? This is for any roofing company owner, any small business owner, any contracting business, right? We're going to be working with other contractors next year, but any really just contracting a company that wants to grow their business, wants to generate more qualified leads, more high intent leads, really wants to get more bang for the buck with their produces a return on investment on their online marketing. A lot of people that we've worked with have used many marketers in the past and have not gotten results with that. So this strategy is really just education, right? Just learn, understand how to do this for your own business so you can implement it for yourselves and start producing results yourselves, right? Who am I? My name is Mauricio Cardinal. I'm the owner and founder of Roofing Marketing Pros. I started the company back in 2017. I actually studied in college. I studied civil engineering in college. I worked for a construction company for a few years, for 2 years. And then I decided to get into sales and eventually got into online marketing. And I've been doing the online marketing for over, close to 10, 11 years now. And I started to focus really, I just started to focus on growing an agency. And then I decided to focus my efforts on serving roofing companies, right? So got my first client in 2017. And we've grown since then, right? We've worked with close to 400 contractors across the country. We've generated 150,000 inbound leads. Produce over 150 million in, 500 million in sales for our clients. We've also have over 135 star reviews, close to 40 video testimonials. We work with companies ranging from 1 million in sales that are startups to over 200 million in sales. Our biggest client was doing over 200 million in sales per year. So we work with all these different companies that have really produced a lot of results. So this is some of the results we've gotten in the last 7 years, right? And what makes this different? There's nothing for sale, right? I'm not going to be pitching our services. It's just good information you can use, right? Actual tactical, practical information you can use that you can implement yourself, or you can hire somebody that can learn from and really implement this yourself. At the end of the presentation, all I'm asking for is that if you guys want, we can have our team audit. We have a paid media team. We have a team of 6 people that do paid media, that do Facebook and Google, right? That are just focused on ads. And you can have an audit at the end, so we can go into your Google or ad account and do an audit, and we can just do it free of charge, right? So that's one of the things that we offer. You just schedule a meeting at the end, right? It's free of charge, and that's all I'm offering. If you guys want to learn more information, but there's nothing for sale again, right? Just nothing for sale. Just we can do that for you guys at the end, right? So let's talk about Google Ads for the roofing industry, right? So super excited to start talking about this, right? When I mention Google Ads, right? Google Ads really breaks down to there's 3 different categories, 3 main categories. There's Google search ads, right? Google YouTube ads, which are YouTube ads, and then finally Google display ads, right? In this presentation, we're going to be focusing on just Google search ads, right? We're not going to be focusing on Google YouTube ads or Google display ads, right? Display ads has never been a big part of our strategy. And YouTube ads have worked in a consistent basis, but I don't recommend it for this strategy. I'm just going to recommend Google search ads. And that's what we've been doing the last 8 years, and I've gotten really consistent results in that time frame. And that's what I recommend for you guys. Just focusing on Google search ads. Don't focus on YouTube. Don't focus on display ads, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about: Google ads, and in this presentation, right? So basically, the significance of Google ads in the digital landscape for roofing contractors. What it allows you to do, it allows you to do many different things, but the main things that it allows you to do, it can allow you to target specific demographics, specific areas in your network, right? It produces measurable results, right? You can actually track the results from a lead to a qualified lead to a sale, right? And that's what I recommend overall. The strategy is that you tie it back to sales, because you want to have Google optimize your campaign for not leads, but for actual sales. And I'll teach you how to do that in a specifically in a second, how to implement that over time, right? Brand awareness, right? It's a big brand awareness, right? People are searching for your name, right? You want to be at the top of the search results when people search for your name, right? You want to be at the top on Google, right? Google's a huge network. 90% of search traffic is still Google, still dominates, right? One of the things that obviously that has advantage is that produces obviously faster results in SEO. SEO takes time. Everybody knows that. PPC, Google Ads basically just doesn't take as much time, but it still takes a little bit of time, more time than you would think compared to the past. But it still takes time, and obviously you have a budget control, right? I've seen a lot of mistakes with these campaigns where people make mistakes with budget control. They overspend or they underspend, right? With Google, in terms of the budget, and I'll talk specifically about that later in the presentation. But what I recommend in that strategy is you have a small budget to begin with, and you increase over time, right? And then in terms of you have a daily budget, right? So if you're spending $3,000 per month, your daily budget will be $100 per day, right? That's recommend the strategy in terms of if you want to start spending $3,000 per month, right? So that's with the budget. You don't want to overspend or underspend with Google Ads, right? In terms of the Google Ads and how it can drive more targeted traffic and produce quality leads. Really, the campaign, it really breaks down to these 5 different categories, right? First of all, it starts with keyword research, right? You have to target the right keywords, right? If you're targeting the wrong keywords, then you're not going to produce results, right? In our experience, and been doing this for a long time, right? It's the 80-20 rule, where basically it's called Pareto's principle, right? The 10 to 20% of the keywords drive 80 to 90% of the leads. So it's very general, right? So it's very general. That's what drives the most results, right? Different ad formatting. We'll talk specifically what kind of ads you run in terms of the dynamic search ads and all the different stuff we talk about, right? Geographic targeting, right? Obviously, if you're launching a campaign, right? You're a local business, you're a local provider, right? You want to target local companies, right? Or local service areas, right? You don't want to you're in a Florida roofing company. You don't want your ads to be showing in New York, right? So that is a mistake that I've seen a lot of people do, that you actually don't target the correct location, right? Big thing, right? Conversion tracking events, right? So this is can get complicated in terms of conversion tracking, right? This is a very common mistake that I see with a lot of campaigns, is not having the campaign tracking set up correctly. And that really is it can really ruin your results, right? So overall, right, what I've seen is that you want to have the tracking conversion set up. And then once it's set up for, you're tracking the phone calls, you're tracking the form fills, you're tracking the all these different things, right? And then you want to start tracking offline conversions, right? There's an entire presentation you can do just on tracking, because it can get complicated, right? And this webinar is not really about that. It's not about tracking. It's more on the strategy level. But basically what it comes down to is that you want to start tracking for sales, right? And start feeding Google the algorithm for offline sales, right? So when you get a sale, right, you tie it back to Google and start tracking and having it optimized for sales. That's one of the most important things, right? And obviously it takes time to get there, right? Because you're not going to get sales in the first 30 days. It takes a little bit more time to get there, right? And you want to start tracking over time, right? That's why typically what you see campaigns is that campaigns they perform better over time, or they can degrade over time if you're not really tracking the right parameters, right? And obviously audience targeting, a big part of audience is making sure you're targeting the right audience, the right demographics. our experience, we've seen more success targeting by county level and city level instead of by zip code. It's not that effective with zip codes. So just giving you FYI on what we do, right? So why Google Ads? So I'm gonna go over some stats to give you understanding of how big Google Ads is. Really, Google Ads is what made Google one of the biggest companies in the world, right? 90% of the revenue comes from Google Ads, and they're $1 trillion market cap. I think they're a top, I think they're top 10, top five or top 10 company in the world, right? I think I don't know if they pass Nvidia or not, but obviously Google, is one of the biggest ones in the world. What was it? $1 trillion cap market cap. Those are obviously Google's top five or top 10, but uh, basically the whole point of this is that the main reason why Google's grown so massive is because of the Google ads, right? That's what drives all the revenue, right? 65% of medium businesses use Google ads, right? The average conversion rate on pay-per-click campaigns is about 2.35%. And mobile is more effective than mobile desktop. So one thing that I want to point out, guys, is that Google is a mobile first search engine, right? So it's going to be indexing for your mobile. So it's more important how your website looks on mobile versus how it looks on your desktop. So you have to optimize for your mobile performance, right? So it's make sure when you're checking the how your website looks, that it's important that it looks better on mobile, right? Um, other stats are 79% of marketers say Google ads are vital to their company's success. The average small business invests 7 times more money to paid advertising than they do to SEO. So that's our experience. More roofing companies are doing, paid ads, right, instead of SEO, because obviously with paid ads, it's a more instant gratification, right? You get a return on your investment quicker. In our experience, the clients that do both at the same time get the best results on Google Ads and also SEO, right? So they work hand in hand, right? 80% of small businesses plan on using Google Ads in 2024. So think about this. So if you talk to a competitor, right, they're probably going to be using Google Ads already. That's a proven way to get more leads, right? 43% of advertisers identify lead generation as their main reason for Google Ads. So the main benefit, right, on Google Ads for us, right, for local business, right, is to drive leads. That's the main benefit, right? And then 90% of businesses use advertising, Google Ads editor to use advertising, right? So that's one of the things you have to keep in mind. So overall, this is like the core strategy we believe in, right? So it's called Google's Big Four, right? So in terms of the core strategy as a business is if somebody comes to us and they want to work with us, right? What we focus on is Google's Big Four, right? So what I mean by that is this, right? In terms of hierarchy, right? I would focus as a business, I would focusing on LSA, right? LSA and the maps at the same time because they work hand in hand, right? So with Google Local Service Ads overall, and I said this in the previous webinar that I did last month, is that Google Local Service Ads have become the number one way to do paid ads in roofing, right? And also just all local businesses, right? So Google Local Service Ads came out 5 years ago, right? In the last 2 years, I've seen it become much more effective than Google Ads, right? You get a better return on your investment, and you get a better ROI. So the cost per lead it's basically a pay per lead model, right? And the quality of lead is a good lead that our clients are generally happy with the quality of lead, right? So generally speaking, right, I would focusing on local LSA, right, as a business, right? So I would focusing on maximizing that budget, right? So that's the trick, right? Because a lot of clients they have a challenge actually spending the money, right? Because I want to spend, let's say I want to spend 10,000, but they only spend 5,000, right? So that's the strategy. Is I want to maximize that budget first, right? But in order to get results in LSA, you have to have a very strong Google business profile. You have to have a lot of reviews, high quality images. You have to answer the phone in a timely manner, right? So those are all the things that affect and they work hand in hand in order to get the best possible results, right? So once you have those in place, then now we're focusing on SEO, right? We did a webinar, marketing director, SEO director did a webinar a couple months ago on SEO, the importance of SEO because the SEO ties everything together, ties your website, your Google business profile, your Google ads, all ties it in together. And then finally, Google ads, right? So before this is flipped, right? Before, when I started the company, I would just focusing on Google ads, right? The first thing that we we provided a service for. I didn't do anything. I didn't do SEO. I didn't do any Facebook ads. I just did Google ads for our clients, right? And we did Google ads, right? We would be getting leads, right away, and you would optimize for that, and you get a higher cost, a lot lower cost per lead, and a higher quality back then, right? So I've seen a kind of degrade performance over time, right? So I always tell clients that you focus on the LSA on the map section, and then I would spend the rest of the budget on Google Ads, right? And what you think about is really kind of dominating the first page, right? So Google local ads, the Google Ads, right, in the middle, and then in the bottom is a SEO, right? Google your website, and on the all the way in the bottom is also Google search ads, right? That's a hierarchy of importance, right? That's what I would focus on as a business, right? And if you do all four at the same time, that would get you the best possible result, right? And then finally, what I tell clients is that if happy with this, is getting good results, I want to spend more, then I would focusing on Meta, right? So I'm focused on Facebook, on Meta to spend the additional money. Now, Meta is very powerful. It has gotten results. It's actually gotten way better the last year in terms of quality leads. I've seen a huge improvement in quality leads. But I would focusing on that, right? And then if you want to get quicker results, right? I would focus on Meta first. So, for example, if I want to get leads in the first 30 days, I can't wait 90 days because it takes 90 days now to start getting really good leads on Google Ads. I would just focusing on Meta. So that's the strategy that we focus on clients. Make sure you understand this, the hierarchy, when you're building out these campaigns, right? So when I'm going to give you a specific strategy, right? This is for one of our clients, Stellar Roofing, and they are doing all four at the same time, and all four strategies are working in conjunction to produce the best possible result, right? When you do all four at the same time, you get the best possible result, right? So that's what keep in mind, right? So overall, right? If you look at this, first thing is Google Ads, getting $34 a lead, right? Spending $4,200, over the last 2 weeks. On local service ads, right? $1,800 spent, about 23 leads, right? In that time frame, right? SEO has consistently gone up the last 2 years, right? So they're getting a ton of clicks, a ton of impressions over that time frame, right? That's driving a ton of leads, right? On local SEO, right? Basically, this is a increase from this year to last year. Last year, it's a 72% increase over last year, right? In the same time frame from October. So from October 2023 to October 2024, 72% increase in that. This client is getting about 150 calls a month, or even 200 calls a month, just from Google Business Profile, right? Because they've seen a huge increase in the volume of the search. When they're working all four at the same time, you're getting the best possible result at the same time, right? So let's go over specifically on setting up your Google Ads account, and how to really what you need in order to get this started, right? So the first thing you need, right, is you need a Gmail account, right? Obviously, you can't set up a Google Ads campaign without a Gmail account. Now, Gmail is the most popular email service provider in the world. Obviously, it's what a lot of people use, but it's the first thing you got to do, right? Ad creatives, have the assets, have the copy, the images, the videos, have all that ready to go when you launch a campaign, right? Having the business information, right? I'm going to go specifically about that in a second, because Google has gotten a lot more strict in the last few years on what information you need to submit in order to get verified on Google to run ads, right? Landing paging the website, extremely important, right? Your campaign can fail without having a very strong website or a strong landing page, right? Because you can have the best possible ads, have a low cost per click, but you're not getting any conversions, is most likely because of your landing page, right? Having the correct payment method, right? One thing that I've seen with a lot of contractors, unfortunately, right, is they have a past due balance on Google, right? With a credit card, right? Google will find that out, and then you won't be able to run ads. I mean, I've had clients where they had a past due account balance, and then we can't run ads for them, right? Because they didn't pay their bill or whatever, right? They're basically suspended from Google themselves, right? You don't want that to happen, right? If you have a bill, you pay the bill, right? And obviously, conversion tracking, we set up correctly. You're making sure your tracking set up on the landing pages, on the website, right? On the ads, making sure you're tracking the right events, and you're tracking all these different setup on the campaigns, right? So specifically about Google advertising verification. So Google has changed this in the last couple of years, right? So basically, Google has gotten a lot more strict with what they do in terms of, if you want to run ads, right? before it was kind of like the Wild Wild West. Anybody can just create a campaign and start running ads, right? Now Google makes you go through a lot of hoops in order to get your ads. So first of all, you have to have your business verified, right? You have to see who is actually running the ad. You have to submit your identity, right? Typically an ID, a government license, right? And they have to verify your ID, right? You verify your business operation. Sometimes you have to give information about your business, right? Utility bill, office location, all these different things that really helps in place in terms of the verification. And then finally, you have to verify your affiliation with the organization. So if you're a marketing manager for a roofing company, you have to identify your position in the company and making sure you have this in place. Now, one thing that we've come up with is that this is actually delayed launching a campaign. So we make sure that if you're coming on board, that you have all these documents in place. We ask for the documents, and what delays the process is not getting the documents back in place in a timely manner, right? That's what really delays, right? So if you don't have this in place, it's going to delay campaigns. This is all really basic stuff. Honestly, just make sure you have this really basic stuff. Okay. Um, why Google Ads campaigns fail? These are the most common reasons why a lot of campaigns fail. And this is if you're gonna do a checklist on the reasons why campaigns fail, right? This is the more common reasons, right? First thing is keyword selection, right? Making sure you have the right keywords. If you have the wrong keywords and you're targeting the wrong people searching, the wrong demographics, then you're actually getting bad results, right? So obviously, when you're targeting keywords, right? If you're a roofing company, right, you don't want to target, lawyer keywords, people looking for a law firm, right? Doesn't make any sense. It's completely irrelevant to what you're searching, right? The wrong geo and audience targeting, right? So if you target the wrong geo, this is a very common mistake, right? If you're targeting specific radius, right, you don't want to be outside that radius, right? Having weak ad copies, right? Having not having a strong offer within the campaign with the landing page, right? So in terms of the weak ad copies, right, there are really no excuses, right, for this, because now you have ChatGPT. You can create really compelling ad copy by using ChatGPT. Just ask ChatGPT to create some very compelling benefit-driven copy, and you can use that to create really good ads that get people to click on the ad, right? Having a poor landing page experience, right, with poor design and having no offer, right? I'm going to talk specifically about this, right? I had an entire webinar I did a few months ago where I talked specifically about how to create a 10x offer, right? This is really what makes a big impact on conversion rates, right? If you have a great offer on your Facebook campaigns, on your Google ad campaigns, on your website, all these little things that really get people to click and ultimately get people to convert. At the end of the day, if you're in the roofing industry, right? This is just specifically for roofing, right? But generally speaking, right? The roof is a very big project, right? So people, when they search for a roofing contractor, right, they are typical procrastinators, right? They don't want to take the chance, right? Because it's a big project. It's expensive, the most expensive part of the home. So they're gonna be, if you compare it to other home services space, it's a much lower conversion rate, right, on Google Ads. But it's also typically a more expensive lead, right? So what mitigates that is what and gets people to take action is you have a great offer. That's really what makes a big impact, right? Obviously, another big aspect is having the wrong budget, budget mismanagement. Those are the things that really can help or break a campaign, right? I'll give you an example, right? If you're in a very small location, right? If you have a town of 50,000 people, right? I would not recommend Google Ads as a strategy for you guys, right? I would focus on the map section, getting more organic listings, or maybe even Facebook, but I wouldn't even do Facebook a lot because you're not gonna get a bang for your buck, right? Because if you're spending, $2,000, you don't have enough people searching, right? So typically, you would have to have enough people searching in your area to get results on Google Ads, right? So what I've seen, if you break it down, the U.S., right? If in the U.S., there's about 50 metro cities, 50 cities in the metro area that have over 1 million people. Those are typically when we work with contractors, they're going to be in those areas, right? If you're like a smaller location, maybe 500,000, right? It's really hit or miss with Google Ads. But if you're like 1 million above people searching, then that's going to work because you have enough people searching for your services. Now, how does this work, right? Make it make sense, right? So if you're providing multiple services, right? If you're doing windows, doors, if you're doing siding, if you're doing roofing, right, solar, and you're in a small location, then you have more people searching for those possible services, right? The key thing is that you have to have enough people searching, right? And that really comes down to the population size, right? I'll make sure you guys understand that, right? So incorrect campaign setting. So specifically setting up the campaign in an incorrect manner really makes a big impact on the success or failure of campaigns, right? So this is a structure. You can guys, take a picture of this. But basically, what this means is that this is the structure of the campaigns that we implement for our clients, and I've seen different structures that work well as well. But this is what we do. We recommend. Basically, the way it breaks down is this, right? You have a campaign, and then you have the budget, the target areas, and the bid strategy, right? That's what you're going to come up with, right? And then you have the different AdWord groups, right? Keyword AdWord groups, which includes the brand, the service. By service, we target by service, right? Right, and then also by metal roofing type. I'm sorry, by roofing type, and that's kind of the general theme that we use, and also kind of generic theming, like storming or hail. Those are the kind of the general AdWord groups that we use. But typically, that's where it breaks down. So if you would do the branding, right, you have keywords and audience, right? With the keywords and branding, one thing that I want to point out is that when you're doing a campaign, right, you definitely want to bid on your name, because you want to, when somebody's searching for your name, you want to have your ads show up. And yeah, you're spending money on that, but it's definitely worth it, because what happens is a lot of times you'll notice is that a lot of people are going to be bidding for your keywords, right? So you don't want your competitors' ad to show up when somebody searches for your name, right? So when that happens, they're searching for your business, right? But they're getting your competitor ads and they're calling that person, and they're basically potentially stealing your leads, right? So it's not illegal to do this, right? It's something that we do sometimes for our clients. Honestly, we don't typically, most clients can handle the cost structure. So basically, like, it's called competitive conquest campaigns, where we target your competitors in your specific area, right? But the key thing is not, because that's easy to do, easy to set up, and you'll get leads, and you get actually low quality. I mean, you get high quality leads that are low cost, because it's a like less expensive keyword. But the issue with that approach is that how you handle the phone calls, right? If you have if you're handling a phone call and the person's not trained and how to handle these phone calls, then it's going to be a waste. So typically we don't run these campaigns anymore, because our clients are not trained enough to actually handle these calls, right? So other thing is this roofing company, right? Roofing contractor, roofing repair. I'm talking specifically more about the keyword hour groups and the keywords that we search for in a second, but it gives you a general idea of the campaign structure, right? So in terms of keyword, sorry, in terms of keyword research and selection, right? Generally speaking, right, this is if you look at the top keywords, right, in the US, these are the top six, I'm sorry, top 7 keywords in the US. Sorry about that. All right. So these are the top 7 keywords in the US, right? So in terms of top 7 keywords in the US, right? What do you notice? You notice is that the people search in very general terms, right? They search by roofing company near me, roofing contractor near me, and 2 of the top 7 keywords, if you notice, by search volume. So if you look at in the average monthly search, the biggest keywords are roofing company near me, right? Roofing contractor near me, but also 2 of the biggest keywords are roof repair, right? So what does that tell you? So basically, it tells you that 2 of the top 7 keywords are roof repair, right? And every city that we target, right, roof repair is always one of the biggest keywords that you focus on, right? So when somebody's searching, right, put yourself in the homeowner's shoes, right? When somebody's searching for a roofing company, right, they have a leak, they have a damaged roof, right? They have maybe money for the insurance company looking to replace the roof, whatever it is, man. They're looking for something, right? What they're searching for is for somebody to help solve their problem, right? They're not looking for a roof replacement. They're looking for somebody to solve their problem, right? Sometimes these people, they need a roof repair because there's a damaged roof, right? But they might actually need a roof replacement, right? It's up to you as a person handling the phone calls to actually educate them on the process, right? But a lot of contractors have made the mistake of, oh, I don't target roof repair. But guess what? look at the search volume, right? The search volume is two of the top seven keywords are roof repair, right? The most volume in terms of the US. And every market has roof repair as the most volume. So you don't want to cut off yourself in the foot. You don't want to cut off the campaign of success in your foot. You're going to get the most volume possible, and up to you to actually get the turn those roof repairs to replacements, right? As a business owner, if I own a roofing company, right, and I'm thinking about actually starting a roofing company one day, I would focus on roof repair, man. I would focus on roof repair as a business because it creates recurring revenue, loyal customers, right? You can actually get reviews from those campaigns. It's actually much simpler to deliver on those, right? And you're not waiting a long time, right? So that's the thing. That's the thing. So that gives you like an idea of this, right? This is the data that you can use to benefit your business, right? Hope you guys understand that, right? So this is basically another tool that we use called SEM Rush that gives you an idea of the search volume in the area. Obviously, very general keywords, right? Like I said before in the beginning, right? People search in very general terms. So about 80% or 90% of the keywords are driven by 10 to 20% of the keywords. So 10 to 20% of the keywords drive 80 to 90% of the leads, right? So keep that in mind, right? So here are the four techniques for conducting effective keyword research. Basically, what it comes down to is understanding the search intent, analyzing the how relevant the keywords are to your goals, right? So in terms of like what you want to search for, where you want to show up with, where in the cycle you want to show up with, analyze the competition. So it's going to determine your bidding, right? How much you have to spend, right? Because if you're in Dallas, it's going to be different than somebody in California. California is much less expensive than Texas or Dallas, right? So you might have to spend you might have to spend a lot more in Dallas to get the quality leads versus in Texas, right? I'm sorry, versus in California, right? And then exclude keyword that are relevant to your services, right? So here are the basically the keyword intent and choosing the right ones for your campaign. So when people search for in keywords, I want you to visualize a funnel, right? So you have the top, the middle, and the bottom, right? In the top, you have the widest path. The middle, you have the less path, and the bottom, you have the smallest section, right? So basically, what it comes down to is that you have commercial keywords and transactional keywords, right? Those are the keywords that drive the most of the leads and people searching for Google Ads, right? Those are the keywords you want to target, right? Because there's people in the middle of the funnel and the bottom of the funnel, right? They've done their research, evaluating different options, they're looking for a quote, looking for a proposal, looking for an estimate, looking for somebody to help them solve their problem, right? Navigational, people looking for specifically a page on your website, and then informational, people looking for information. They're in their research mode, right? When you're combined both SEO and paid ads, you're basically targeting the entire funnel. That's why it's so powerful, right? Because people that are searching for information, right, in 3 months they might be ready to buy, but they're already in your funnel because you're retargeting them with the actual keywords you're targeting, right? So that's the key thing to understand and how to get the best possible result, right? And how the different keywords that you use, right? So I hope you guys are liking this, right? And I see people are attending and I see all the things in the chat. I'll answer some of the questions later. So crafting winning ad campaigns in groups. So I'm talking specifically about that for your business. Here are the best practices for your organizing AdWords groups and organizing your campaigns. Like I said earlier before, right? In terms of the service based and generic theming, right? We target by service, right? Very general keywords: roof repair, roof replacements, by roof types, right? Metal roofing, shingle roofing, tile roof, and by also urgency theming, right? I've seen work where people target by geo, like roofing company near me. We also do that as well by roofing city near me, things like that. That also works well. So those are the things that you target, and people are targeting those specific keywords in the area on that and those such locations, right? On that section, right? So these are the different keyword groups, right? Here is how it breaks down, right? So we build AdWord groups and you target different keywords in those AdWord groups, right? Here generally what it looks like. So the roofing, right? Very general keywords. Roof repair, just targeting roof repair keywords. Roofing contractors keywords. And then finally on the right side, you see the types of roof that people are searching for, right? Metal roofing, roofing, flat roofing, storm damage, right? And then how to write compelling ad copy. So I mentioned earlier, right? You guys have a lot of tools available that weren't available when we started this. Before, you would have to actually write the compelling ads yourself. You have to make sure you have the right enough characters in the actual ads. to create these compelling keywords. But basically, with the ads, right, you have to have certain things in place. First of all, the whole goal of the ad is to get people to click on the ad, right? To get relevant people, right, that are searching for your services to click on the ad, right? That's the whole goal. So most important metric in this is click-through rate and quality score, the most important things, right? So first of all, you have to capture their attention, benefit driven headlines, benefit driven copy, right? What are the benefits of then clicking on the ad? What is the offer you're making on the ad, right? That gets people to click, gets people to stop and scroll, right? What is the benefits, right? What is the offer you're offering the people that really helps them actually click on the ad and actually become a lead? What is that, right? So that's the most important thing, right? And you can use ChatGPT to write some really compelling ads. So I mean, with ChatGPT and Claude AI, there's a bunch of different tools you can use. They're all really well. I mean, you can just ask it, hey, write me some compelling ads on for a roofing company in Rhode Island or whatever, or in Texas, right? And then have it just come up with the copy, right? And make sure it's the right format, right? It can do all this for you already, right? So if you see this right here, this is an example, right? It has the call to action, it has benefit driven headlines, it has the certifications, and then also it has the address and the quote, right? Those are the things that you look for when you're creating really benefit driven copy, right? Our click through rates are between 5 and 20%. So we have really high click through rates. So people are actually clicking because it's really relevant to what people are searching for, right? So let's talk about bidding strategies. Another thing that we talked about with bidding strategies, there's three main components. There's maximize clicks, which is more traffic. There's performance based, which is maximize conversions. And there's a visibility, which is target impression share, right? So overall, what we do, right? When we launch a campaign, right? When we launch a campaign, right, we do maximize clicks in the beginning, right? So we that's the bidding strategy we use. We target the right keywords and then do maximize clicks, right? And then once we have about 10 conversions, we switch the bidding strategy to maximize conversions, right? The reason why we do this is because when you launch a campaign, Google is gonna spend a lot of time trying to get the right people to click on the ads, and typically those clicks in the beginning are just trash, right? People just searching information, they're not really relevant, and it's a bunch of stuff, right? So you have to kind of work through that system, right? With once you have enough conversions, you have enough data, you let Google's algorithm really start working for you, and you switch your bidding strategy to maximize conversions, right? So that's the most important thing, right? It's going to use the historical data to improve the bidding efficiency over time. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind. And the target impression share, that's something that's more for brand awareness. We typically don't ever use that because, like I said before, right, one of the more core strategies you focus on is having people, enough volume of people searching for your services in your area, right? On that section, right? So here, basically, with the conversion tracking, the fire triggers, like basically, like I said before, at least 10 conversions, then you switch to maximize conversions. Here are some strategies we follow for Rinaldi, for seller roofing, right? We switch the bidding strategy and you see how the cost per lead actually dropped over time, right? From $61 to $21, right? You see how that stabilizing, how it dropped from overall, right? And then in terms of ad formats and match types, so in terms of the ad formats, obviously this has changed and it's always going to be changing. But obviously, responsive search ads have been around for a long time. But basically, these are the ads that combine the best information, the best winners, and they kind of mix and match to determine the winners and see which actually gets people to actually perform the best, right? And then you have to have the assets in place to keep in mind. So I'll talk about that in a second. But here's an example of a dynamic search ad in the top on the right. Right here, you put all the inputs on the left, and then it's going to come out on the right. It's gonna create different variations based on what people are clicking on, right? That's kind of how it works. In terms of the ads performance, right? You have to have enough assets in place to actually get this to perform. So you have to have headlines, right? Having call to actions, having the media assets and images and videos, right? You have the descriptions of your ad to make sure you have that in place. So you have this in place before you actually launch these campaigns. These are called dynamic search ads, to really leverage the best performance possible for your campaigns, right? So here come a couple of examples, right? You see the image on the left, right? You see the headline, benefit driven copy. You see the actual link to the website, link to the landing page, right? You see the call to actions. You have the ad, the line extensions, the headlines, all those different stuff that really takes into account. One thing with keep in mind, you have to have enough. You don't want to go over your copy because you have enough characters, right? And then you make sure that you have enough characters to fit your words into the actual text of the ad, right? Um, One thing that I also do is make sure you have ads with extensions. So Google has this tool called the ad extension, where you can link your calls, where you can people can directly call you. You can have different site link extension. You link different parts of your website. You can link different your maps, your location extension. So somebody searching for, a roofing company in Rochester, you can actually have your maps show up in the people in the map section. Your ads show up in the map section with the location extension, right? Promotion extension, right? You can offer special promotions on the ads on the extension side, and obviously the image and the logo extensions. All these different things are tools available that when you launch a campaign, that allows you to maximize your performance on the campaigns, right? So we talked about the ads, we talked about all these different things, right? It really can your campaigns can fail drastically if you don't have a really strong landing page, right? If you don't have a landing page that really produces results, then your conversion rate can drop and you not might get leads. So you might get a lot of people clicking on your ad, a lot of people searching, but you're not getting leads because it's a low conversion rate. So here are the things that you need to do, right? In order to get a really good landing page that produces a good result. First thing is design, right? So design, I always recommend having the form fill above the fold. And basically what above the fold means, if you see it right here on the screen, right, where people don't have to scroll, right, to actually have their actually submit their information, right? When you people scroll, right, you've seen a drop on conversion rates, right? That's the thing I see. So other thing, having trust and credibility, right? Having trust, third party trust and credibility, right? Manufacturer certifications, right? Having warranties, having what else? Having links to your 5-star reviews, having video testimonials. These are all things that really improve the landing page, right? And then overall increases the conversion rates, right? And then finally, you have to make sure you have targeted messaging for different services. I mean, this is something that it's really the next level. If you're spending enough money, I would definitely recommend it. If you're spending a little bit of money, right, it's probably not necessary, honestly. But basically, if you're having people searching for a roof repair, right, you want to have a specific roof repair landing page. If you have a specific roof company, right, or roofing replacement, you have a specific roofing company, landing page. The reason being is that overall, when people search for the ads, Google is looking for is going to give you a quality score, and quality score is going to determine the strength of your campaigns, right? Because it's going to give you a higher quality lead at a lower cost per lead, right? And what it does, basically, what Google wants is to provide a good user experience to the person searching for the ads. So the way it breaks down is this, right? So when people search for the ads, you want to get relevant people that are people clicking on the relevant ads, right? So if you're a roofing company, right, you want to have a roofing company ad. You don't want to be a plumber, right? If you're targeting roofing companies, right? And then you have the landing page target specifically what the person is searching for, right? That's how you have a strong quality score and really what kind of drives more conversions over time, right? And the approach is that when you launch a campaign, you're going to get a lot of relevant clicks. So that's why it takes some time, because every time you launch a campaign, it's gonna have a learning phase, right? Now talk about that specifically in a second, but basically what these are kind of the main things you look for, right? The cost per click. Obviously, what that means is how many people click on your ad, right? It's pretty simple. Cost per lead, everybody knows what that means, and obviously return on investment, right? So basically, with the return on investment, cost per lead, right? What we see, right, is that once we launch a campaign you see between anywhere between $50 and $150, sometimes $200 per lead. Right? That's the average cost per lead over time, right? So you see these campaigns; these are really good campaigns that are strong. They've been optimized for a long time, right? That's kind of the way it works. It wasn't overnight to get the results from that, right? But overall, like we see like $50 to $150 per lead, sometimes $200 per lead, right? That's what we see, right? How long it takes to see tangible results. So this is a very uh, important question because a lot of people ask this question, and it's important to understand how Google's changed the last few years, right? When I started the company, I seen Google's change, right? Google, you can launch a campaign and really get leads within a day. I would launch a campaign, Do we get quality leads the next day or the same day? Where people are actually calling a roof replacement, hey, I need a roof repair replacement. You get a really good return on investment, right? With the advent of AI, Google's taking so much data that the learning phase takes a lot longer than it used to, right? Because Google's taking a lot more information to kind of get the relevant information to the person, right? So learning phase takes a lot longer, right? Overall, what I've seen is that it takes about 90 days to start seeing consistent leads on Google, right? And what I recommend, right, if you're running campaign, right, if you're doing, I say you want to spend $10,000, $15,000 a month, I would not recommend that strategy. I would just recommend a much lower budget, right? Before I would recommend that strategy because you start getting leads, right away. But I recommend the lower budget. Start at 2,000, start at 3,000, right? And then you scale from there. And then once you have data, once you start getting leads, right, then I will scale from there. So that's what I recommend the strategy when you're doing Google Ads. Always start small. Always also start smaller, right? And then you scale from there. Because a lot of people they have, hey, I want to start spending $15,000 per month right out of the gate. No, I recommend that strategy because that 15,000 would probably not produce a lot of quality leads, honestly. So that's something that I would recommend, right? So it takes long time to see a phase, right? So that's kind of the way it works on that side, right? So Antonio, I see you have your raised hand. So we'll go through your questions in a second on that side. So basically, like here's like an example, right? So here's Stellar Roofing when we launched the campaign. The first month, not $367 per lead, right? One lead, right? Second month, much better. They got 12 leads at $60 per lead. I'm 17 leads at $60 per lead. Third month, much better. 51 leads at $60 per lead, right? That's kind of like an outlier, honestly, right? I'll give you this is a much better example. Was the second one? This is a client, right? So this is actually a much more better example. What are you seeing, right? So this is Rinaldi Roofing. First month spent $1,000, got zero leads, right? Zero leads. Second month, $1,000 is not a ton of money, right? But he got zero leads, right? Second month he got 18. He spent $1,800 and he got eight leads, right? Eight leads from that time frame, right? So it's a little bit better. And then third month, you see the big jump, $1,900 and 76 leads, right? That's how it looks like, right? That's what it looks like. Sometimes it takes 4 months, right? But that's what it looks like, right? That's what I recommend. So to be patient with the ads, right? Be patient with the results, right? It just takes a little bit of time to get to that level, right? So here's some Q&As that I got. Obviously, you guys can ask your own questions, but some of the questions that were submitted before. How long does a Google Ads benefit for the contractor? Like I explained, it's one of the more core strategies in terms of generating leads, right? If you look at, I've been talking with a lot of HVAC, a lot of like plumbing companies. I mean, if you guys have any experience working or just talking to those companies, I mean, they understand this. Been doing this for a long time, man. Like they all do Google Ads. Like these other industries, they all do Google Ads. They all do SEO. They all have a lot of reviews. They're already doing everything, man. The stuff that I've been saying for contractors, for roofing companies, stuff that I've been saying for since really hasn't changed since 2017, is that people are just really slow to adapt because they just don't learn, right? So basic Google Ads is one of the core strategies for generating leads. Now, what I recommend, like I said before, right? Focus on LSA because the quality is much better, right? And then focus on getting start like small in terms of the budget, right? In terms of the recommended budget, right? The average cost per lead is between, I would recommend nothing below $3,000 per month. Nothing below $3,000 per month, right? In your area. So I would not recommend a small budget because you're not gonna get good results, right? You go above that, really, 3,000 and up, typically, right? And how important is keyword selection for roofing ads? Obviously, that's make or break. And why do some roofing companies fail to generate leads? Like I said before, that's probably a conversion issue, the wrong keywords, right? Conversion tracking is set up incorrectly, or not enough time, and consistent conversions. Like I said, 90 to 120 days. So that's what it takes, right? So 90 to 120 days. Um, More question Q&A. Should roofing contractors use good local service ads? Of course, I already answered that. How can roofing companies improve ad performance and reduce costs? So again, if you guys want to learn how to do this, we can audit your account. Just book a call at the end. I'm going to show you guys the link at the end, and you can just book a call from that. On the landing page, again, I can give you some examples for the landing pages for the roofing ads again, so you can see that. And we'll make sure you use for contract clearinghouse again. Root metrics, cost per lead, cost per click, CTR. Those are all things that you can talk about and how to do this, right? So some key takeaways before we wrap this up. Hope you guys like this. High intent keywords, right? 80%, 10% or 20% of the leads going to drive 10 or 90% of the leads. Compelling and relevant ad copy, right? Companies like emergency roof repair, roof re-estimate, use negative keywords to filter out irrelevant traffic, right? Optimize the landing page. Make sure it's mobile friendly, fast loading, and having strong call to action. Using business strategy effectively, right? Again, maximize clicks and then maximize conversions. I'll recommend, as I say in the beginning, track quality score and make adjustments. Uh, Monitor the refine the targeting by location, right? And time of day. Obviously, you want to focusing on the peak times or perform the best. Analyze the most important metrics are cost per click, click-through rate, cost per lead, then return on investment. One thing that I recommend, guys, is that you have your CRM tied into your Google Ads. So you're getting all the leads and you're tying back into the Google Ads, right? Again, ramp up period of 3 to 6 months to consistent results, right? Again, if you guys want to learn, we can have us intro call and get a free audit. All you have to do is click on this link before I'll send to you guys in the chat. I'll send you an email, just roofingmarketingpros.com/calendar. Again, you guys are joining here. So on roofingmarketingpros.com/calendar, and we'll do a free audit for you guys. So, you guys have any questions? Let me see if I have any questions in the chat. I do have some questions. Okay. So yeah, you guys are in one California. And then you have an online course for roofing marketing pros on Google Ads. I do have an online course. I can talk about this. We have a roofing marketing pros university. We can discuss that. So we do have a course that can teach you how to do this yourself, right? Hope you guys like this. You guys have any questions before we wrap this up? I answered those questions, okay? And yeah, hope you guys like this. Again, that's a call to action. Free audit, book a meeting there, and I'll see you guys there. Let me see if you guys are booking a meeting. And talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.